How's it going, YouTube? This is Slacker Magician coming at you today with another competitive DN duel. And we got something rare for you. This is the first time I've seen a high rated player using Infernity on the dueling network since the Satella Knights, the Shaddolls, and the Burning Abyss came out. Those are basically the only three decks you will see people using in high rated, but this is only game one. I just figured that I might as well start recording right now because the guy added barrier and the Shaddoll player was top decking, so it didn't really matter what he drew. I mean, I guess you could draw a dragon and attack over one of them, but it wouldn't really have changed the outcome of the duel. Because as you can see, not even the almighty skill charge can bail the Shaddoll player out of this one, and it's a scoop phase. Don't tell anyone, but I'm secretly rooting for the Infernity player because Infernity's basically got knocked off the map by Shaddoll this exact matchup because not only does Winda stop like Xyz spamming, she also can't be destroyed by card effects, and that's basically all the Infernity player has is 3 breaks and maybe a Lance. Yeah, Lance would help you get over Winda, but you better you better draw it. Can't really boost up your monsters with Rhapsody and Berserk with Winda already on the field, and they would go for Construct if you already had that on the field, so that's not really an option. But let's not forget that Infernity's got a huge boost when Castell the Sky Blaster Musketeer got released because he detaches both materials, which is the reason that a lot of Infernity players love Diamond Direwolf because you get both materials back in the graveyard, but he's so much better than Diamond Direwolf because not only is shuffling back into the deck much stronger than popping this format, you also keep that 2000 beater on board to help with the OTK. So the duel has been pretty simple so far. Both of them just set 3 and Dragon made a direct attack. We're finally seeing a Rhoda for probably Dark Refer. Nope, for that Arm Knight. That's never a good sign when your opponent rotas for Arm Knight instead of Dark Refer because that means they're in the ideal position of not having too many monsters in their hand. He's going to be able to set everything he's got, save for the Archfiend, which he's going to summon right off that Stygian Street Patrol, allowing him to search. If he searches for Launcher, he could make a Lavalval chain, sending Necromancer to the graveyard to launch back both the Archfiend and the Necromancer, but unless he has an instant fusion to make another chain, he'll probably save that for later because he wouldn't be able to capitalize off of Necromancer. And we see that he must not have an instant fusion because he didn't go for it. And that Archfiend Labyrinth luckily going to make the Archfiend 23 enough to get over Dragon. Oh shit! The Achilles heel of Infernity, the Malevolent Catastrophe, is activated. Good thing most. Oh! Malcat followed by a Super Poly. You cannot respond. That was. Oh! I know I'm rooting for the Infernity player, but that was pretty badass. I gotta hats off to Earthor over here. That Malcat Super Poly combo too strong. I was about to say before he super polyed, most Infernity back row is chainable like Infernity Break, the Chalice we saw, but there was probably a Soul Charge back there too. But you cannot respond to Super Poly, it's that spell speed 4, not even Quasar can compete. And unfortunately, he couldn't use the barrier on the Malcat since he had just set it that turn. And I'm really surprised that people weren't side decking Malcat more in last format when Infernity was like half the meta. At least on the dueling network it was, because it completely shuts them down. Now people are setting it against S Knights because it's back row deck. Unfortunately, it kind of seems like our Infernity player bricked. He only set 2 and pass. When you're going first in Infernity, you're supposed to end with 11 cards on your field. 5 back row, 5 monsters, and the Labyrinth. Luckily, he finally drew a Rhoda, which is either going to get him Greffer or Arm Knight. Probably Greffer since he seems to be bricking. Interesting, he adds the Arm Knight, which like I said earlier, you add when you're in the better position. So that probably tells me that he has a Tin Goldfish in hand because Tin Goldfish can't be discarded by Greffer. He doesn't have a Dinotherium though, which is Wind because otherwise he would just special summon Dinotherium. Actually, he would have done it a long time ago. But alright, so he sends Eris to the graveyard. He's gonna add the Archfiend to complement his tin goldfish. He won't be able to make use of that tin goldfish this turn since he already used his normal summon on the Arm Knight. And I mean, then again, it's just pure speculation on my part that he actually has tin goldfish in hand. But it just seems to make sense based on my experience with the deck. And if Arthur knows anything about Infernity, he's probably read the same thing that I have, and knows that the tin goldfish will allow him to go off next turn. So if he has a Shaddoll fusion, he'll probably send both lizards to the graveyard just to get out the Winda, even though you can only get one lizard effect per turn. Just because Winda is just so strong against Infernity, it literally is just a huge problem. Breaks don't work against it. Basically, your only out is Forbidden Lance or something you side deck for them specifically. So he does think that it's worth sending both lizards for just one effect to get the Winda. Or he's gonna try and be a sneaky cheater and use lizard's effect twice in one turn. Like he, like I get, you should know your own deck better than that. I don't know what to say about that. And thankfully, Explicat calls him out on it and says once per turn, it's not just either flip effect or send send per turn. Could have just been an honest mistake. I guess we'll never know. Play passes back to Explicat, and as if things weren't already bad enough with Winda shutting off his Tin Goldfish play, looks like he drew Dinotherium since he's looking at the opponent's graveyard, but he should be looking at his own graveyard because if he were to special summon that Dinotherium, he would definitely take the Arm Knight out of his graveyard so he could get a free level 4 and a Shaddoll effect, as opposed to just one. And he doesn't even need the Dinotherium to special summon his Arm Knight because he's got an Arm Knight of his own. Arthur says ability instead of effect. I love saying trolly stuff like that. Like, I activate my monster's special ability. It just reminds me of the original show. Interesting to see that he's running Arm Knight over Mathematician. There are advantages to both of them. Mathematician combined with Felice is a one-card Black Rose or Arcanite. I guess Arm Knight and Felice is technically a one-card level 8 Synchro, but I've literally never seen anyone do that. Arm Knight gets his effect off a Soul Charge, and Mathematician lets you draw when you crash for Deneb. But let me shut up about that because he just drew the comeback card. Explicat drew the D-Fusion, shutting off that Shaddoll Winda. Also, he won't be getting that Shaddoll Fusion back. This could be huge. And he got the tin goldfish that I was hyping up. I know my shit, people. There, I know my Infernities. But damn, the hype train is shut down in the station. He got that Flying Sea. The absolute best card you can side against Infernity. I'm surprised he even has it in his side deck because frankly, Stygian Dirge is much more effective against S-Knights than Flying Sea is, but Flying Sea is way better against Infernity because it's a hand trap and you can use it when they're going off turn 1, or trying to go off until you summon the Flying Sea. Explicat says he's afraid of that Malcat again, which is a very legitimate fear. I would probably not attack if I was him, especially since Arthur is saying, you know you lose if you don't attack, son. So obviously he wants you to attack, but it could be that next level psychology where he's bluffing the bluff, you know what I'm saying? But I mean, he has barrier. I would not attack until next turn if I was him. And does he have it? He had it! Poor Explicat. He's a chill dude for still using Infernity in this new meta. And he had the Super Poly follow-up. Oh my god. Double Super Poly Malcat combo. That was pretty nutty. That about wraps it up for this duel. This has been Slacker Magician. Don't worry, I got plenty other duels on my channel if you want to keep watching. Peace out.